The Emerald ROM hack Elite Redux is known for all of its original Fakemon, from new regional variants known as Redux forms and Convergent forms, to brand new evolutions and new Mega Evolutions for Pokemon. It's hard to find a Pokemon that doesn't have an additional form, and with each update, more and more are being added. So with a new update around the corner, I wanted to go over 10 new Pokemon coming to future updates of Elite Redux. The Johto starters are possibly my all-time favorites, but other than each of them getting new Mega Evolutions, nothing else was given to them. Well, these 3 Redux variants have been approved. Starting in Dex order, we have Redux Meganium. This Meganium is no longer Grass, but a Dark Steel type, giving it a pretty good amount of resistances, but a devastating weakness to fighting. Its stats will be very similar to the original Meganium, with only a bigger bump to its special attack sitting at 113, while its speed is lowered to 60. The 3 choice abilities it can swap between will be Spike Armor, which grants a 30% chance to cause bleed on contact, stopping Pokemon from healing and negating their stat buffs. Piercing Solo, which makes all sound moves cause bleed, and the last one being Loose Quills, letting Meganium set a layer of spikes each time it's hit, making it a solid lead Pokemon. One of its innate abilities pairs really well with this, that being Iron Barbs, as contact will cause damage as well. Mosh Pit is a pretty unique ability that's exclusive for doubles, as it will increase an ally's attack power by 25% and will actually increase it by 50% if it's a recoil move. Hisuian Arcanine will love this Meganium. And lastly, it will have Soul Eater to give it back HP after a knockout. I could definitely see this Redux form being useful on a bunch of different teams. Next, we have the Redux Typhlosion. The Fire type is removed from this Pokemon and is replaced with Dark, but its Ground type stays, still giving it the type advantage over Redux Meganium. It's not the greatest type with a healthy amount of weaknesses, but it's quite rare. Just like Meganium, its stats are almost identical to the base form. Everything remains the same, with a 20-point bump to special defense and a 20-point drop to speed. One of the choice abilities for Redux Typhlosion will be Soundproof, blocking all damage from sound-based moves. With the amount of powerful Boom Burst users in this game, this will be very helpful. Like Meganium, it will also get the Piercing Solo ability to induce bleed. And the last ability will be Sand Song, giving all sound-based moves a 20% power increase and turning them into ground type moves if they're normal type. So expect this Pokemon to get Hyper Voice and or Boom Burst. One of its innate abilities, Loud Bang, will make all of its sound-based moves even better, granting them a 50% chance to cause confusion. Confusion works differently in this game, basically giving every move recoil if it's inflicted with it, so it's very strong. The last 2 innates will be the same as Meganium, Mosh Pit and Soul Eater. The other 2 Typhlosions in this game are already really solid, so it should be interesting to see where this one ends up. Lastly, we have Redux Feraligatr. Just like the others, it adopts the Dark typing, but its secondary typing is actually Ice, making sure it still has the advantage over Typhlosion's ground typing, but is still weak to Meganium's steel typing. Redux Feraligatr stats change a bit more than the others. A 30-point drop to special defense brings it to 58, but a 20-point increase to defense and a 10-point increase to attack. The choice abilities will be Strong Jaw, which will increase the power of biting moves. Again, Piercing Solo, however no physical sound-based move exists yet, so a new one might need to be added. And lastly, Hyper Aggressive, letting all moves hit twice, with the second hit being at 25% power. One of the better abilities. The innates will be Refrigerate, making all normal moves ice and increasing their power by 10%, as well as Mosh Pit and Soul Eater like the others. These Redux forms will make great doubles partners with the Redux Toxtricities. I love seeing unique type triangles like Ground, Steel, and Ice being used like this, and I can't wait to see these being added to the game. Fan-made Paradox forms are always my favorite, and the future Paradox forms needed some love. And Seviper is definitely a Pokemon that needs something, and that's why I love its new Paradox form, Iron Scythe. This version of Seviper will be a Poison Ghost type, which is a decent type combination with a good mix of immunities and weaknesses. Much like the original form, it will be a physical attacker, with its best stat being 126. Its speed is slightly slower, but has much better special defense, so it can survive hits. The 3 choice abilities it will have are Sweeping Edge, making all Keen Edge boosted moves always hit, and single target Keen Edge moves hit both opponents, making it a menace in doubles. Chrome Coat, which will reduce all special damage by 40% but make it 10% slower. Still makes it a massive special tank. And lastly, a new ability, Soul Harvest, granting Iron Scythe a 5% boost to attack, special attack, and special defense for each fainted ally. This can make it quite a dangerous late game threat. The innate abilities will be Quark Drive, which all future Paradox forms have, boosting its highest stat in electric terrain or with a booster energy. Power Edge, making all Keen Edge moves target a foe's special defense while boosting their power by 30%. Lastly, Funeral Pyre, one of the strongest abilities in the entire game, causing all non-ghost and dark types to lose 25% of their health after each turn. This Pokemon is just awesome and will be one of the strongest in the game. That is, if the Nerf Hammer doesn't strike it down. Another great looking future Paradox form coming is one for Magnezone, that being Iron Field. Iron Field will still keep its steel typing, but will drop electric in favor of dark. However, this will still be a special attacker. Its special attack is higher than Magnezone, sitting at 140, as well as its speed sitting at 90. Its defenses are still pretty decent, but it's definitely an attacker as the abilities suggest. The choice ability Magnet Pull will trap in any steel type on the field with it and can be a real problem for the AI. Ambush, one of my favorite abilities, will guarantee a crit on turn 1, making it an excellent Choice Scarf user. And lastly, a new ability, Electromagnetism, making electric moves super effective against steel types and activating a 3-turn Magnet Rise on switching, so it's immune to ground moves. The innate ability Quark Drive will most likely be used to boost its special attack. Multi-Headed will let all of its moves hit an additional 2 times at reduced power, so even Focus Sash Pokemon aren't safe. Lastly, Deadeye, making all of its moves 100% accurate while making cannon and arrow moves hit the foe's weaker defense. I can't wait to use Zap Cannon with this beast to destroy everything. Its move pool is really solid and can be one of the better Paradox forms. The last future Paradox form we'll be talking about is actually one for the fossil Pokemon Kabutops, this one being called Iron Blades. Iron Blades will keep its rock typing like the original form, but will add Ghost. Rock Ghost isn't the greatest overall, but it's only shared between 2 lines, so it's very cool to see. It's going to be a mixed attacker with low defense, so its weaknesses aren't that important. 120 in both attacking stats makes it a threat to run both, and a speed stat of 110 is enough to outspeed a good amount of Pokemon. Of course, Paradox forms are really defined by their abilities. Static will be one of its choice abilities, giving all contact with it on offense or defense a 30% chance to paralyze. Soul Eater, which will restore 25% of its health with each knockout. And lastly, a new ability, Soul Battery, working like Lightning Rod, but instead redirects all ghost moves to itself and boosts its highest attacking stat. This is probably the one I'd be running the most. Then we have the innate abilities, the first of course being Quark Drive. Another brand new ability being Techno Blade, combining Keen Edge, which boosts all slashing moves by 30%, and Galvanize, which makes all normal moves electric and increases their power by 10%. Slash always crits in this game, so it's definitely going to be amazing to run with this. Lastly, Cursed Body as a little bonus, adding a 30% chance to disable a move if someone makes contact with it. Switching this Pokemon into a Ghost type attack while Booster Energy is used to increase its attack could be a really dangerous combo to see in the future. The past Paradox forms will still receive a few bangers as well. Latios will be given a sick new past Paradox form called Crimson Blast. Crimson Blast will drop the Psychic typing from the base form and add the Dark type instead. It won't even be able to look at a Fairy type Pokemon, but it's still a solid typing. Unlike the original Latios, this will mostly be a physical attacker. 131 in attack and 149 in speed makes it an amazing threat offensively. The low defensive stats scream Glass Cannon, however. With a choice ability like Impulse though, that won't matter too much. Impulse will make all non-contact moves use its speed stat for damage, meaning it might just be a better special attacker. It could also run Impenetrable, making it immune to indirect attacks, so it can run a Life Orb with no drawback. Lastly, for purely physical sets, it can run Speed Force, using 20% of its speed stat for contact moves additionally, meaning the higher the speed stat, the stronger the power. Which is just amazing as one of its innate abilities happens to be Speed Boost, so after each turn it gets faster and faster. On top of Photosynthesis, which will give it a 50% speed boost on entry, it will not only be unbelievably fast, but hit like an absolute truck. The last innate it can have is a brand new ability, Blast Strike, combining Combustion, which boosts fire moves by 50%, and Reckless, boosting recoil moves by 20%. This thing better get Flare Blitz is all I'm saying. You might want to run Impenetrable for that though. This might break the game when it gets introduced and could be my favorite Paradox form of all time. These next ones are for the Spiritomb fans. The base form and the Redux form are both solid in their own ways as is, but now they each will get new evolutions, starting with the original Spiritomb and its new evolution, Devastoom. Devastoom does not add any new typing, which is fine because Ghost Dark is excellent. It does however get much stronger and more offensive. Both attack stats now sit at 127 while its speed raises to 80, so it's not a sweeper, but it won't just sit there anymore. It will also get a brand new ability which should be really good. Spiteful Spirit will cast a Will-O-Wisp when at half health. With it also working as it enters the battle, it can be very useful. Twisted Dimension is another choice ability that will set Trick Room as it enters the field. 80 is high for a Trick Room Pokemon, but will still be excellent. Lastly, Soul Eater so it can regain health with knockouts. Its innate ability, Vengeful Spirit, is 2 combined abilities. Haunted Spirit, putting a curse on a Pokemon that takes it out, and Vengeance, which boosts up Ghost type's power depending on HP. Then it gets Loose Rocks, setting Stealth Rocks when hit with a contact move, which pairs well with its final innate, Shadow Shield, having all damage at full health so it can easily set them up and not go down. Devastoom will get new moves like Ruination and Shadow Punch to deal solid damage. A Spiritomb Evo is a great idea, but Eviolite Spiritomb might be the biggest winner in all of this. Then we have the evolution to the Redux form being Sambogine. This variant of Spiritomb is a Psychic Poison type, and this evolution keeps the same typing. It's a decent combination both offensively and defensively, which is perfect for this Pokemon's stats. 110 in HP paired with 130 and 140 in defense and special defense respectively is going to be a huge pain to remove. Coupled with the fact that it has 135 in attack, seeing this Pokemon will induce nightmares. And the abilities won't make that any better. Scare is a special form of Intimidate, so special attackers will be shut down. Serene Grace will double secondary effect of moves, so Mist Ball will always lower special attack. And lastly, like the base form, Neutralizing Gas to negate all abilities, which is really useful in this game especially. Then it has Magic Guard as an innate, so it can hold a Life Orb for even more damage. It will also have Prankster, so it can pop off an Acid Armor before the opponent even moves. But a Hypnosis might be more dangerous with its final innate, Oniric Plague, making the opponent sleep for the max amount of sleep turns and will have them lose 1/6 of their HP with each sleeping turn. Absolutely insane ability, especially with the new move it would get, Forgotten Dream. An 80 base power psychic move that doubles in power versus sleeping opponents and has a 20% chance to put a Pokemon to sleep if they're not already. This Pokemon might be really broken, but sounds really fun to use. They weren't done with Spiritomb yet, as a past Paradox form was also approved. This monstrosity is called Hungering Void. It's very similar to Spiritomb, but drops the ghost typing for Dragon. Yet again, another Pokemon that can't even be in the same room as a fairy type, but it's still a fun combination. Its stats are basically just a direct upgrade to Spiritomb. HP sits at 85, while every other stat sits at 113. Speed is the only lower stat, but it's just better in Trick Room. It's not getting Twisted Dimension, but its Dragon's Maw ability will boost up its Stab Dragon moves by 50%, or it could run Dark Aura to boost up its Stab Dark moves. Shadow Shield will be the last choice ability, so it has a chance to survive fairy moves. Since it's a Paradox form, it will get Protosynthesis and can be used on Sun teams as well. Shadow Tag will keep Pokemon from running away, maybe trapping a more defensive Pokemon on the field. Lastly, Jaws of Carnage, letting it regain half its health with each knockout. It's going to get a ton of coverage with biting moves and Meteor Beam for special sets, so I would definitely try this one out for my teams. These are just 10 from the massive pool of officially approved forms coming to the future updates of Elite Redux. Hopefully we see some of these in the newest update whenever it comes out. Don't forget to subscribe to see more new Pokemon coming to the future of Elite Redux. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.